Can you believe there was once an extremely popular amusement park in a place called Willow Grove, Pennsylvania? If you go to the location today, you'll see a beautiful Pennsylvania real estate investment trust mall with all your favorite stores. But long before this became a popular destination of those in Bucks and Montgomery counties in PA, it was a popular location for fun. Surviving for 80 years from 1896 until 1975, it was seen as a location for locals to visit and those in the Northeast to vacation. The destination was seen as a fun place to visit when going on a vacation to the city of Philadelphia. Until the opening of Disneyland in 1955, the Willow Grove Park was actually seen as a premier destination and attraction for those who wanted to go on rides. Specifically, it had a very strong hold on the Northeast region. It was also considered to be a strong reason for the broader expansion of theme parks and amusement parks throughout the United States. Willow Grove Park would be considered to be a trolley park, a term that was coined in the 19th century. Essentially, a trolley park was a location outside of a major city that you could reach through streetcar lines. These were typically built by the trolley car companies. In the case of Willow Grove Park, it would be built by the People's Traction Company. Their goal was to encourage people to take their trolley cars during the weekends from Philadelphia to Willow Grove Park. Besides the trolley car, the park's location would be successful due to the various options to reach it, through the various other uses of public transportation in the area, and eventually roads for cars. The location had ease to reach. This is one of the main reasons behind the success during the early days of the park. The concept of Willow Grove Park was originally simply a place to get away from the city for a day or a weekend, but still feel as though you were not in the far out country. It would be seen as a getaway for families to picnic and escape the stress of the inner city. However, as time went on, Willow Grove Park would expand greatly, adding shows, rides, and other attractions. The biggest attraction the Willow Grove Park had would be the Music Pavilion. The pavilion would be famous for locally famous and globally famous bands to play. Most notably, John Philip Sousa would play there almost every year from 1901 to 1926. These free concerts would be a draw throughout the Northeast. The concerts, specifically with the help of Sousa's, would draw in overall more than 50,000 guests for these shows. For the time period, this would be extremely impressive for an attraction, which would eventually lead to the location being called the Music Capital of America. Besides the fantastic music entertainment that the park would hold, it would have other attractions to drive attendance from families. Willow Grove Park would have a 10-acre man-made lake that would have featured the largest electric fountain in the U.S. at the time. This lake and fountain would be seen as great and unique attractions for the time period. Visitors would also be treated to fireworks during Saturdays after sunset. This concept sounds a lot like Disneyland, does it not? Maybe Walt had heard about this idea of a family-friendly location that ends their night with fireworks. Due to the extreme popularity of the Willow Grove Park during the first season, 3 new trolley lines would be added to meet the demand. The first season in its own right would have over 5 million visitors. This extreme popularity would continue over the years, leading to more and more expansion for the park. They would eventually add a casino, restaurant, movie theater, and of course expand and grow the amusement park aspect. It seems Willow Grove Park would develop beyond just an attraction for rides. It essentially became an all-encompassing destination. This sounds a tad like the concept we could see with theme parks today, does it not? City Walk, Disney Springs, Downtown Disney all have movie theaters, shopping, and restaurants. The question you may have at this point in the video is, what rides did this park have? We have highlighted some of the major draws at this location, but not the actual rides. But the rides for the time period were extremely impressive and could be seen miles away. These attractions would draw in guests on their way to the park. Famously, they had an Alps railroad ride, a floating gondola ride in canals, and a high-flying ride called the Captive Flying Machine. The park's extreme theming and style helped drive attendance to the park. It made you feel as though you were leaving PA visiting Europe or other locations. But the one thing that stood out was Tour of the World, a ride that used a movie projector utilizing screens with movements of the ride. Willow Grove Park was long before its time for over-theme park experience with an encompassing destination to utilize around the area. Due to all of this, Willow Grove Park would have its peak attendance for the year prior to World War I. Not only did the location have extreme success as an amusement park, but it would also live on in popular culture. Willow Grove Park would be used in the final Abbott and Costello Dance With Me Henry. It would also be referenced by Claudette Colbert in the film She Married Her Boss. Even Bill Cosby did a stand-up routine called Roland and the Roller Coaster, which focused on a roller coaster at the Willow Grove Park. Now you may be asking yourself, this location seems to have been extremely popular, and it did live on for 80 years. Compared to other concept parks that started in the 1800s, Willow Grove Park truly outlived these places, being able to survive until 1975 and impact many grandparents and parents around Pennsylvania. In 1976, it was decided that the amusement park would need to be replaced. This was due to aging rides and attractions and the overall location for the park. The growth of the suburban areas outside of Philadelphia in the 60s and 70s made Willow Grove not as large of a destination. Now with the ability to fly and drive places, it meant locations like Disney would be more reachable. That, paired with the growth of other entertainment locations in the area, killed the number of guests visiting. In the 70s, changes were made to the park, even with a rebrand to Six Gun Territory, but it would not be able to recapture the success. It would eventually lead to the new and unique Willow Grove Park Mall to be built. The mall had and still has references to the old amusement park throughout the mall, including a carousel on the 3rd floor. Did you know the history about this amazing amusement park that helped change the perspective of entertainment in the Northeast? Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and follow. Believable Truths.